Financial advice is not necessarily only for the wealthy and for the people that are well connected and who come from traditional elements of society. It's important that we reach everyone, and this week we're going to talk about that.
This is Make Better Wealth Decisions, a podcast about financial blind spots, decision making, and how the reality of higher rates, global tensions, and tariff instability impact your investments. I'm your host, John DeGuy, a portfolio manager with Design Securities in Toronto.
In my main podcast on Thursday, I had a conversation with William Moores of Cafe, and his organization helps people that are underserviced and oftentimes underprivileged, oftentimes because they come from the LGBTQ community or because they come from visible minorities or from any other group that might otherwise be disadvantaged. These are groups that oftentimes need financial advice and making better wealth decisions, perhaps even more than most of us do. So the need is extreme. And yet, because they don't necessarily have the financial resources and don't even know necessarily where to turn to get those resources, the organization of Cafe and other organizations like them, because we've spoken in the past also about the Canadian Foundation for Financial Planning, play an important role in bringing together these different disparate groups who, on the one hand, don't necessarily have resources, but nonetheless need financial advice, and other people who actually have the knowledge and are willing to give of their time and of their energy to help these people bridge the gap to be more financially resilient and to be able to live a better life as a result of the coaching they've received and the decisions they can make. It is important to realize that making good financial decisions is not the sort of thing that is the purview only for the wealthy, only for the well-to-do or the well-educated. It's something that is important to everyone from all walks of life. And that's especially important for those people who really don't know where to turn because they didn't grow up with money in the family. Their parents oftentimes were living paycheck to paycheck. So they themselves have never known anything other than poverty and some form of destitution, or at least some form of lacking resilience. And so they don't necessarily have the background or the upbringing that would be second nature for a lot of people. It is important, therefore, that we have groups such as Cafe that can step into the breach and help ordinary Canadians make better wealth decisions. It's something that is extremely important. And if you haven't thought of it yet, and if you know people in particular that come from disadvantaged parts of the world or parts of the country that maybe could benefit from getting some good financial counseling, which includes not just the money, but also maybe the psychological aspect of how to deal with money and how to deal with society, you should look into organizations such as Cafe that can help those people make better wealth decisions and lead more resilient financial lives.
This podcast is not to be construed as offering specific investment advice. Please consult a qualified advisor before acting. My books, Stand Up to the Financial Services Industry and Bullshift, are available online. If you'd like to meet to discuss how the topics in this podcast affect you directly, please visit my website.